This is the GK2, a printer which I'm told solves, with great design and clever engineering, almost every problem that 3D printing can throw at you. All except one. Me. Why am I such an idiot? The thing about YouTube videos is they're filled with professionals who really know what they're doing and what they're talking about. This isn't that video. This is a video for people who just want a printer that plugs into the wall and works. No tinkering, just a thing that works. I was sent this printer a couple of months ago and I've been using it ever since. And I want to talk you through some of the idiotic things that I've done, so you don't make the same mistakes. Although, you seem like a sensible person and you probably won't. No doubt the experts are going to be watching this video, rolling their eyes in horror, while the GK2 quietly saves me from myself. Hi, my name's James, and this is Rising 8 Minis. It's a constant challenge making review videos when great videos already exist. So what I'm trying to do here is make an honest video. And I can honestly say this is the best printer I have ever used. Straight out of its massive box, which I immediately repurposed into a luxury car for my girls, the GK2 feels solid. If something feels nice, I just enjoy using it more. Maybe that's just me. From the metal casing, to the catch on the build plate, to the satisfying click of the power button, the construction is solid. And if anything feels slightly over-engineered. It's not all perfect though. An example of where something could be better is the hinges on the lid, which could be stiffer so they hold in one position, because this printer, much like the Grand Old Duke of York, is either up or down, but never in between. The nod to quality and going above and beyond continues with the accessories, which contain some scrapers, some filters, some gloves, and this cool little silicone scraper, which is actually really nice to use. But let's just talk about the size of this thing.
That's what she said. No time!
To use it, you need an area about 80 centimeters by 40 centimeters by 40 centimeters. That'll give you enough clearance to be able to lift the lid fully, as well as to get to all the various bits and pieces around the printer. Now it's open, let's look inside. The vat is made of plastic and looks a little strange, but it's actually brilliant. It slides out with one hand and it's deep enough that you shouldn't get your hands all covered in resin, making for a cleaner process all round. Once it's out, you can see that 8K screen with 29 micron pixels. Those pixels are actually a little bit bigger than some of the competitors, but only by half a micron. Or this much. No, I can't see it either. With the vat out, we can level the machine. No real need to though, because it comes pre-leveled in the factory. One cool thing about the leveling design here is it's a little strange. There are 8 screws, 4 to hold the plate in place and 4 to adjust. And what that means is the whole thing is significantly more stable than, for example, this kind of printer, which are essentially just hinges and therefore inherently less stable. And while we're here, let's look at the build plate. I was used to this sort, a hunk of metal that just plops down into the resin. And while they work great, they get resin everywhere. Now this build plate is so big that it looks absolutely ridiculous, but it turns out that's just awesome design, because it means the top of the plate stays clean, which means I don't get resin all over my workshop, or all over my hands, or all over my house, and therefore I get moaned at less. It's the little things. And because you're all clean, you don't get resin all over this beautiful clip. One hand and it unlocks, slides out, and your parts can be taken over to your bench for cleaning. No drips though, because the clever little designers have designed a drip catcher. It's the little things. Clip the vat back in, pop in the resin, and fill it to this point right here, but no higher, or it'll overflow. And it's right about now that I make my first proper facepalm. Because if you know anything about the GK2, you'll know that it's one of a couple of printers that have a built-in heater at the moment. But if you need to know another thing, it's that it took me a full day to work out how to use the heater. Now this is probably a me problem, but I couldn't see anything in the instructions that obviously listed out these steps, so here goes. It's a little embarrassing. When you first fire up the machine, you get a temperature display and you think, oh cool, I'll just turn the heater on then. And I went through the whole UI and through the instructions and I couldn't find anything which related to temperature. So my idiot brain thought, well, maybe it has to be at temperature first. So I insulated, then I put a heater next to it, just to see if I could possibly get the temperature up. And I did. I got it to about 25 degrees, but still nothing. By this point I was cursing the printer and very angry indeed. But it turns out what you need to do is press print first. When you press print, the printer automatically goes into a preheat cycle. Once it's finished preheating, it starts printing. That's it. That's a full day of my life I'm never going to get back. There's no moral to this story, just don't be like me. What a muppet. I've now removed all the extra heaters. You really don't need them. And the actual heater is incredible. It's completely transformed my printing and made the whole process so much slicker. Running off this print right now, my garage is just above freezing. And with the heater going, the resin has made it up to about 16, 17 degrees. So I'm probably going to need to turn it on a little bit hotter, but still, it's working really nicely. And don't forget, in slightly colder temperatures, you can just increase your exposure time a little bit and you'll still get prints that are satisfactory. The build plate is approximately the same area as about 30 Space Marines, to use a popular and IP protected measurement system. The printing process is similar to other 3D printers, but the GK2 has enough internal storage to make sure you can avoid any USB related gremlins. The memory will eventually fill itself up though, but don't do what I did and delete everything manually. Use the select all and delete all functions. Once you're done, remove the print. Scrape it off. Wash the models, first in dirty IPA, then in nice clean IPA. Then pop them under a UV light. Previously, like some sort of weird heathen, I just popped them outside in the sun or under some LED strip lights. But now I've got a Uniformation curing station too. This thing's kind of like a weird top-loading microwave, and it works really well. Build quality is the same as the printer, although that power button's on the back and I would have liked a nice tactile switch like you get on the main printer itself. Needless to say though, it's a great curing station, and I really like it. Now I've sunk about 200 hours of printing into this machine at this point, so let's summarise here. First off, thank you to Uniformation for sending me this amazing printer. It has completely revolutionised my printing. Luckily no Uniformation printers were hurt in the making of this video, and I did learn some valuable lessons. 1. Read the bloody instructions. 2. Not only can I print at consistent temperatures, but I can also print more than I ever have before on a larger print volume. And 3. Well, let's be clear. The real star here is the heater. Someone printing in a seasonal climate where the temperatures regularly drop below 20 degrees, having a heater is an absolute must, and I genuinely have no idea why it isn't a standard feature on all 3D printers. This machine is well built and engineered and designed to a level that I haven't seen in other printers, and packed full of innovative features that aren't on competitive printers. Yet. On this channel I love reviewing hobby gear, both expensive and cheap, and if that's something you enjoy watching, I think you'll love this video here. Thanks so much.